Hello, everyone. My name is Mondes Hollum, and I want to welcome each and every one of you all to this particular webinar. The reason why you've been asked to take a look at this webinar is because somebody saw something in you, and we're simply on the search to identify just a handful of people that understand timing and business. Now, this webinar is going to be twofold. The first part is going to talk about the economy and why so many people are looking for ways to diversify. The second part of this webinar is going to really be designed to highlight and share with each and every one of you why we chose the vehicle of choice in 5LINKs. I think it's very important that before anyone starts to really talk about an opportunity, that you know a little bit about the person that's going to be sharing information. And so by way of background, I grew up in Washington, D.C. I was a product of public schools, and my parents always told me that if you wanted to be successful, you need to go to school and get a great education. So that's exactly what I did. I went to North Carolina A&T State University, and I finished up my academia with getting an MBA in finance from Clark Atlanta University. I came out of grad school doing real estate development and consulting for a number of years and climbed the corporate ladder until I realized it was leaning on the wrong building. And when the real estate industry started to take a turn in 2006, 2007, I ended up getting a phone call from a gentleman that I had a lot of respect for. And he started talking to me about ways that we could generate extra income by taking advantage of the 5LINKs vehicle. Long story short, I was blessed to meet one of the top producing executives at that time in the company, and I flew down to Dallas, Texas to meet him and just to learn a little bit more about how this particular business could apply to myself and my family. I ended up getting involved and started building the business part-time in and around my full-time schedule and was blessed to hit one of the top positions in the company in less than 22 months. Now, some extraordinary things took place. Number one being the most important to myself was that I was able to pay off all my mother's credit card debt, which at that time was about $20,000. And then, about 4 months after being a senior vice president, I had replaced a six-figure corporate salary and decided to go full-time. And I've been full-time ever since. At the end of this webinar, all we're simply looking for you to do is to ask yourself two simple questions. Does it make sense? And can you see yourself doing it? If those answers are yes, we look forward to working with you, and we look forward to helping you achieve your goals and dreams. So let's get started. Here's how my journey looked. I went to school, got the great education, landed a good job, and the whole objective was to earn northwards of six figures a year. And I'm sure you would agree that working 60 to 70 hours a week is a lot of hours, especially when it's linear income. And many of us done that for a number of years to earn the six figures plus a year. But when you owe 200, 300, 400, $700,000 in debt, you start to feel, in my case, like you're on a higher broke level. That's when the research started to happen. I started looking at periodicals such as Time magazine. And in this periodical, it was talking about things like, where are the jobs? Whatever happened to the great American job? And I started noticing many of my colleagues were sending over resumes asking whether or not there were employment opportunities at my particular firm. It left a lot of people with question marks because people were getting laid off left and right. If you look at Forbes magazine, this magazine actually talked about the fact that mass unemployment may endure for at least another 18 to 24 months, possibly longer. And I had to ask myself a question. What if my income, my primary source, disappeared? How long could I survive? It wasn't pretty in terms of the reality. In my case, maybe about 16, possibly 20 months. Then the second step was to really look at the unemployment rate. And here's a chart that really trended all the way back from the 1990s. And if you look at right around 2006, you would see a drastic increase in terms of the unemployment rate. Right about now, it's a little less than 10%. Right now, the state of unemployment, there are nearly close to 14 million people in the United States that are unemployed. Now, this was really alarming when you look at the income and poverty rate at the 1990s level. See, the median household income adjusted for inflation fell to $49,000 in 2010, a 7% decrease from a peak in 1999. That simply meant that people were now having to figure out how to live on less money than they did 10 years ago. Now, that's pretty difficult when you add in the fact that inflation is growing every single year. Now here's an article that was picked out September the 2nd, 2001. And if you look closely, it lets you know. Bank of America corporate executives are discussing plans that could slash the company-wide workforce by as many as 25 to close to 30,000 jobs, and they're still working on this. By the time you watch this webinar, it may have been executed. People are hitting the proverbial panic button because they're uncertain in terms of what to do next. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, actually stated that this downturn could last another 8 years. Even in Forbes magazine, the Economic Policy Institute highlighted the fact that the number of workers that have been unemployed for 6 months increased from a little over 500,000 to now close to 5 million. Again, people are panicking because there's uncertainty in the climate. I was reading this article in USA Today. It was a money section. Talked about, want a recession-proof job? Think direct sales. Well, what is direct sales? Every company out here that has products and or services, the traditional way to create what is called consumer awareness is to utilize marketing dollars to bring about that consumer awareness for the products and or services that they want to market. Now, what direct marketing companies do is that they eliminate the need for the traditional way of marketing and they replace it with direct marketing companies. And so now you have the opportunity to bring a product and or service directly from your manufacturer to the consumer, and in return, you get paid. That's a win-win situation. And what I love about the industry is you become the CEO of your own enterprise, and you can build a distribution network however large you choose, and not only are you in a position to get paid off of your personal efforts, but as you build a team, you're in a position to get paid off of the efforts of others as well. Now let's talk about the telecommute industry. Time magazine had an article that was written by Bill Gates that talked about in the years ahead, millions of additional people will telecommute. Well, what is telecommute? All that simply means is now corporations are allowing individuals to work from the comfort of their own home. Well, that requires a lot of discipline, but that's perfect for individuals that are looking at a home-based business because the same principles that you would apply working for someone else, you can now apply to your own business. Nearly 8,000 people a day join, most begin in their spare time. They earn on average a little over $50,000 additional per year, but nearly 44 million Americans telecommute. So let's talk about 4 principles in business. And I just believe that you should check these off as you're looking at going into business regardless of the industry. Number 1, is it a huge and expanding market? Number 2, do you have a unique and consumable product? Number 3, is the time and prevalent for the product and or service that you're going to bring to market? And last but not least, do you have the ability to create leverage? Now, if you look at all 4 of these principles and each one of them are positive, then more than likely you should move forward. So that brings us to the 5 links opportunity. That brings us to the vehicle of choice for myself and many of my partners. Now, in my opinion, all 5 links it's a direct marketing, telecommunication, and now energy marketing company that is allowing regular ordinary people like myself and anyone who chooses to get involved the opportunity to go out and acquire customers, which we've got a system in place and we'll teach you step by step how to do that. But in return, the company then will pay you just like these larger companies have always made their money, which is residually. Now, quite naturally, that creates a continuous cash flow where at the end of 30 days, you'll find yourself in a position to get a small percentage off of the bills that you personally are paying and off of the services that you personally acquired. But how about this? As you build a distribution network, you'll find yourself in a position to get paid off of the customers that you don't know and quite frankly will never meet. And this simple concept allowed me to replace a 6-figure corporate income and walk away from my job in less than 2 years of doing this business. So why would you do 5 links? I believe that everybody would have a different reason as to why they would do something different. Yours may be to spend more time with your family, diversify your income, pay off debt, start a children's college fund, give more to charity, or simply financial freedom. Whatever your reason is, this vehicle can accelerate it in terms of it becoming a reality. The company. The company was founded in 2001. The co-founders have over 60 plus years of combined experience growing at over 800% for the past 4 years. That's very significant. Plus, we have a 50,000 square foot headquarters up in Rochester, New York. And what I love most about the company is that representatives come first. They realize that in order to grow a business to become a multi-billion-dollar company, they need to create some millionaires in the process. Documentation beats conversation every day of the week, and Five Links has been featured in major periodicals highlighting the success of the company, such as the Inc. 500, which is a magazine that ranks the 500 fastest privately held companies in all of North America. Five Links was featured in this publication 4 years in a row. Success from Home in 2008, Your Business at Home in 2010, and also in 2011. But they also were ranked in the Rochester Top 100 4 years in a row. And when you can find publications that are positively talking about a company, it just makes business sense to research it further. Let's look at the opportunity. Timing and positioning are the keys to success. And I've often heard that I'd rather be in the right place at the right time as opposed to simply being smart. And many of us have lived through each and every one of these wealth trends dating all the way back to the 1980s, when the PC industry was upon us. Prior to that, many of us used typewriters to type up documents. But there were companies that became multi-billion-dollar companies as a result of this industry. How about the mid-1980s when AT&T was the only long-distance company that you can get long-distance service from? Now, as a result of the deregulation of long distance, you saw companies like Sprint and also MCI emerge. What about the cell phone industry? There was a time when we did not necessarily use cell phones. Now everyone has one. If you fast forward to the 1990s, you saw the emergence of the internet. And now companies like Yahoo, Google, Facebook, all billion-dollar companies. Well, what's exciting today is what is called voice over IP, or for that matter, voice over internet protocol. And all that simply means is now consumers are able to reroute a regular phone call by rerouting it over the internet. Now, when you add video phone technology to that, now you can see the people that you talk to on the other end. And once you go video, you simply don't go back to the regular way of making a phone call. And last but not least, the deregulation of energy is here. And that simply means choices for consumers. Imagine being in a position to get paid every time somebody flips a light switch, heats or cools their home, takes a hot shower. You get paid. That's pretty exciting. To take advantage of voice over IP, Five Links created a company called Global Links. And what we're so excited about is the fact that we're able to cut the cost of phone service by up to 50% or more. Analysts have also predicted that there are going to be close to 44 million U.S. households projected to be on voice over IP by 2013. We've got exclusivity to the Global Links video phone, which is the GSP-10, and we also have residential and commercial services as well. We've got Wi-Fi and mobile applications that work on either the iPhone, iPad, iTouch, or Droid, and we've got a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art network. Five Links Energy. Well, that simply means choices for the consumer. But what we're so excited about is that analysts have predicted that it's going to be close to 10 times the size of telecom. Energy monopolies are being broken up, both residential and commercial, and also natural gas and electricity. In addition to Five Links Energy and Global Links, we also market pretty much every other facet of telecom and also other essential products and services, such as Text Alert, Five Links Mobile, Five Links Home Security Systems, Five Links High-Speed Internet, Merchant Processing Services, Five Links Satellite TV, Identity Theft Protection, and last but not least, Business Elite Services. So let's talk about the compensation. One of the ways that the company has in place to get people out of the gates running is what is called a quick start bonus. You have the opportunity to earn up to $750 in your first 30 days of being in business. So the first thing we're going to teach you how to do is to go out and acquire 20 customer points. Now, a customer point is not a person. A customer point is one of the services that we talked about earlier. So, who do you think the first and best customer should be should you decide to start your own telecom/energy marketing company? The obvious answer should be yourself. So, for example, when I first got involved with the company, I had a house in Washington, D.C. I made it very simple for myself. I decided to hire everybody that would pay me and fire everybody that would not. So I got DirecTV for myself, I got internet for myself, I got a couple cell phones, a couple video phones. I was 13 customer points before I talked to anybody. Now, the second person I talked to was my mother. We decided to do the same thing for her, so between both households, we had close to 26 customer points. You do that in your first 30 days, the company's going to pay you $500. Now, the second piece is building what is called a distribution network, a team. Now, people will get in through you, but for their own reasons. And so here's the thing. How many people do you know that are overworked and underpaid? What about very successful, but don't have a lot of time to enjoy that success? It applies to everybody. And let's just simply say we share the opportunity. We don't convince, we share, and we let people make up their minds themselves. Once we help you identify your two business partners and we help them qualify their position with 4 customer points in your first 30 days, the company's going to pay you another $250. That's going to equal a $750 quick start bonus in your first 30 days. I think that's a heck of a way to get out the gates running quickly. Let's talk about the long-term residual income aspect that has many of the most successful entrepreneurial influential people gravitating towards the 5 links business model. Now, utilizing this as an example, 5 links will pay up to $4 on every 24.95 Global Links plan, and depending upon your position in the company will determine how much of the $4 that you get. So if we're using this as an example and we're looking to the left, let's just say month number 1, we help you build a team of 3 people. Month number 2, it turns into 9. Month number 3, 27, 81. There's no limit to how large of a distribution network you can build. But if we're being conservative, let's just say we build a team of 20 people. And everybody goes out and get their 20 customer points. And the company just pays 50 cents out of the total $4 to the field. That's going to yield you $200 a month. Now, the key in this is understanding that it's residual. That means month after month, year after year, for the lifetime of those customers being in your network, you get paid based on work that you've done in the past. Now, if you knew you can build a team of 20, why would you stop? What if you build a team of 200? Now all of a sudden you're looking at $2,000 a month residually. This is when I got truly excited about what I was seeing, because all I could envision was one day building a business like this over the next 2, 3, 4 years. And my residual income superseded my residual bills by a couple $1,000s. Let me ask you a question. If that were to happen to you in your household, would that create change? Would it be something that you can really be proud of? Could it relieve some stress? Absolutely. But it takes a while for that to grow. Customers have to actually be acquired. You have to build a distribution network. And so what the company is sensitive to is the fact that they understand that the residual income will build on the back end. And so they've instituted what are called weekly leadership bonuses that pay out every single week as we build our distribution network. And what I love about this business is that at every single level, you can give yourself a raise. This is where principle number 4 comes into play, which is leverage. Are you in a position to get paid off of the efforts of other people? And in this model, absolutely yes. The first corporately earned position is what is called executive trainer, leading all the way up to what is called platinum senior vice president. And you can see not only are you able to get paid off of your own efforts, but as individuals that are in your network independently building their business based on you being in position at one of the leadership positions, you're in a position to get paid off of the efforts of others as well. Let's talk about some of the senior level incentive packages that are awarded to those individuals that have really worked hard and achieved the senior vice president position in 5 links. Number 1, the company awards you 5,000 shares of stock options. Now, I don't know when the company is going public. I just say that it's better to have it than to not. Then they also pay up to $800 towards a BMW of your choice, with the only requirement being that it must be silver. Up to $3 Global Links bonuses on every Global Links customer that comes into your network, an annual paid vacation, all expense paid for 2, and an expense account is awarded to individuals at the senior vice president position. Let's talk about platinum senior vice president. One of the things that happens when you achieve the Platinum Senior Vice President position, first and foremost, they pay for a Bentley up to a $4,000 car payment towards your Bentley, and the only catch again, it has to be silver. You also get another 5,000 shares of stock options, and you get some other prizes as well. But the thing that really has us the most excited about what Five Links has done is that they created what is called a platinum pool. And this platinum pool allows you to profit share in the company's overall revenue. Every single month, company-wide, the company puts a certain amount of revenue in a pool every single month, and that pool grows month after month. And at the end of the year, if you're a Platinum Senior Vice President, you split that pool equally with the other Platinums that have achieved that position. So how do you get started? Respectfully, I encourage everyone to get started at the Independent Marketing Representative position, which is $249. I liken that to what is called a franchising fee. That gets you just licensed to be able to market all of Five Links products and services. Your personal website, any future services that come down the pike. Plus, once you become energy certified, you're now in a position to market energy in the selected markets. You qualify for all the customer acquisition bonuses, open line bonuses, and quick start bonuses. Here's a quick recap of the quick start bonus. First and foremost, once you go out and acquire 20 customer points, the company will pay you a $500 quick start bonus. Once you identify your two business partners and you help them get qualified with 4 customer points in your first 30 days, the company's going to then pay you another $250, which will be a total of $750. Training and support. One thing I love about what Five Links has put in place is that they have so much training that can help you grow your business from the independent marketing representative status all the way up through double platinum senior vice president. They have Five Links University, which you can take courses online. The only recurring cost that you're ever going to have for your business is $49 a month for what is called Platinum Services, which is your personal website and your business website. And I usually share with people the only way that's a problem is if we're planning on getting involved and making less than that. We've got local trainings, we've got regional trainings, and we also have international training events which are designed to help not only you grow your own business, but also help your team grow their business as well. Well, it all comes down to business ownership. And there's always simply 3 types of people that take a look at the opportunity. And whatever you're feeling is the best feeling for you. The first person feels like this is just something that's not for them. And to you, we understand that feeling. It's not for everybody. But how about simply considering becoming a customer of the person that invited you to take a look at this opportunity? At least you know that you're going to be supporting somebody that thought enough of you to share powerful information. Second person says, I have questions. Get back with the person that has you taking a look at this and schedule an appointment with senior leadership so that you can get your questions answered. Ultimately, we want nothing more than you to make an informed, educated business decision. The third person, if you're like me, you're ready to roll. And we're going to show you how to get started. Get back with the person that has you watching this webinar and let them know that you're ready to get started. They're going to sit down with you and show you how to get started, but then step by step show you how to launch your business and really get out the gates running. In my time, I've only seen a few reasons why people don't get involved, and the first one is they don't quite understand it. And all I can say is neither did I initially. But if the concepts make sense to you, if you can get excited about getting paid off essential services residually, gas and electricity every time somebody heats or cools their home, takes a hot shower, if the concept of residual income excites you, I say get in and earn as you learn. This would be one of the best self-development programs with an enormous compensation package attached to it. For those that don't quite believe it, I just encourage you to do your research. Do your due diligence. Go to Google, do whatever you need to do to raise your belief, because one thing's for certain, if not this, then you definitely need to find something that you can put in place to generate you a second and or third stream of income in this changing and uncertain economic time. Through your research, you'll find regular, ordinary people just like myself who once took a look at this opportunity, who were once working in corporate America and saw this as a value plan B that is now transcended into a plan A. I actually had a little article written up about myself in October 2010 edition of Your Business at Home, and was blessed enough to have another small article written about myself in the November 2011 edition of Your Business at Home as well. So do your research, do your due diligence, and once you've made an informed decision, if it's to work with us, we welcome you and we look forward to helping you achieve your goals and objectives. Next is those individuals that feel like they don't have the time. And I can speak intimately towards that feeling because I was working anywhere from 60 to 70 to 80 hours a week. And the one question that I have and that I'll ask you is, if you don't have time today, when will you ever have the time? Because one thing's for sure, time will never run out, but yours will. So make the right decision. And here's the thing, with this opportunity, you can buy your time back. Last but not least, I don't have the money. And I understand that this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people. But in comparison to having to do some of the things that many of us have had to do, such as spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for our degrees and things of that nature, to be able to create an extraordinary lifestyle on less than $500 is such a blessing that I encourage each and every one of you all to do what you have to do so that this never is an issue ever again. If you like what you saw and you want to stay connected with future webinars, feel free. You can follow me at 123 System Solutions, and or you can opt in to my short code text marketing by text messaging the number 55469, the word Live Life by Design. That concludes the webinar. I want to thank each and every one of you all for taking the time out. Get back with the person that invited you out and let them know your interests. And should that decision be to move forward, we welcome you to the team and we can't wait to celebrate in your success. Take care, everybody, and God bless.